Greetings all and welcome back to Daily Pali Reading. Today's passage, Pamuditassa piti jayati, piti manassa kayo pasambati, pasadakayo sukhang vedati, sukhino chittang samadhyati. From having been greatly delighted, bliss arises. From having a blissful mind, the body becomes calm. The calmed body experiences happiness, and from happiness, the mind is composed or concentrated. So if we look back here at pamuditassa, this is the genitive of pamudita, which is a past participle of pamodati, to be greatly delighted, to be very pleased. So we have pamuditassa piti jayati. Bliss arises from being greatly delighted. Piti is bliss. This is our nominative singular. Jayati is the third person singular. Present active indicative verb. We've met jayati several times before. Now it's not unreasonable to expect that piti jayati, that the joy would arise from an ablative case. And here we have the genitive. But if we were to consult Duracell's grammar, for instance, we will see that the genitive is not infrequently used in place of the ablative. I think Warder says that this is true, but in philosophical discourse, the ablative is always used. Now, why might the genitive be used? In this case, we won't speculate about every case, but in this case, because of the previous phrase, we had a genitive absolute, samanupassato, tassa samanupassato, seeing while seeing that the five hindrances have been abandoned, joy arises. So it could be that the genitive here and later on in this passage today, that they are just paralleling the genitive there. And also if we think about the fact that these genitives are masking ablatives, and we remember that the ablative not only expresses like separation, but can express the cause of something. We then could read pamuditassa as due to being greatly delighted, joy arises. Joy arises because one is greatly delighted. And that would hold for the remaining genitives, which are standing in for ablatives. So continuing, we have piti manassa, another genitive, piti mana, joyful hearted. Here we have piti, we have this tapurisa compound with piti and mana, or actually coming from mano, mind or heart. So from a joyful mind, kayo, our nominative, masculine nominative singular, kayo pasambati. Pasambati is to calm down, to be quiet. So the body is calmed due to having this joyful hearted experience, or being exhilarated, being filled with bliss. The body becomes calm. Then we have pasadakayo sukhang vedati. Now this one sort of breaks the pattern. We don't have a genitive here at the beginning of this little clause. We might have one hidden. I'll get to that in a minute. And here we have pasadakayo. This is an instance where the compound, how we understand the compound, can slightly affect the meaning. It won't completely change the meaning. We could see this as a tapurisa compound, meaning that pasadha is in some case other than the nominative here. Or we could see this as a kamadarya, meaning that the pasadha would be in the same case, is to be understood in the same case as kayo because it's an adjective. Now, to be quite honest, Pasadha is a past participle of pasambadi, the verb we had just a minute ago. So you could see that a quieted body would make sense. Like reading pasadha as an adjective in that compound makes sense. But it seems like you could also read it as another ablative, and the compound would be the body because it's quieted. And then we go on. The main verb is vedati, to experience, to sense, to know. Probably like the Vedas and Vedanta. And this is a transitive verb. It takes an object, sukham. It experiences happiness. So either way we take this compound, it's either the quieted body or the body because it's quieted or calmed down. It experiences happiness, sukham, and experiences the opposite of dukkha. Should also point out that in the Abhidhamma, we will find a list of the beautiful mental factors, two of which are kaya pasadhi and chitta pasadhi, the tranquility of body and tranquility of mind or consciousness. Then our last clause here for today, we have sukhino chittang samadhiyati. Sukhino is another genitive. This is from sukhin, happy, at ease, being well, unhurt. And then let's look at our verb samadhiyati. It's the passive form of samadhati. Samadhati is to compose the mind. The passive, of course, would be to be composed. So here, chittang, and because chittang is neuter, we don't know, looking at this form, if it's nominative or accusative. But since we see this passive verb, we can understand chittang to be the nominative, the subject here, that the mind is composed due to happiness. Again, the sukhino could be a genitive in place of an ablative expressing this causal relationship. So that's where we're going to leave it today. Please tune in next time when the Buddha is going to start discussing metta, loving kindness. Peace, everyone.